And we're live. Who all is here tonight? We've got Unfinished Project himself. He's ripping for Tim Jacobson there with the Indecisive Garage. For those of you not familiar with Tim, he has the very first CRT E4OD trans brake in existence. And he is going to be joining us at No Name Nationals in September. We've got Never Done Projects, LP94 Lars, Frizzell Never Done said they were having a hard time finding the live tonight for some reason. That's because they didn't put the thumbnail up till a few minutes ago. Danny Boyd says deny, defend, and deep stage. Whatever works for you. Levi is here. Colleen, a.k.a. Mama M to the third power, is here. One-Eyed Cat Don's talking about the thumbnail. He says, I watched No Country for Old Men a few days ago. First, he'd seen it in its entirety. And Unfinished Project says he hasn't seen it, just snippets on YouTube. I will tell you, if you haven't seen that movie, it is excellent. It's a truly good movie that is worth seeing. You should see it. I don't like many movies made in the last 20, 25, 30 years, but that's one of them. And if you want to see another good movie that was made the same year as No Country for Old Men, or released the same year anyway, that Josh Brolin is in, American Gangster. That's a really good movie too. So anyway, whatever that's not worth. 6th Street Garage is here. Turbo Tom 416. Kind of makes me wonder if Turbo Tom 1 through 415 was taken, but I digress. JB's live was funny with no sound. I don't know. Might have been an improvement. Maybe he was brailing it out there or doing it in American Sign Language. Pure Pontiac Garage. My Aunt Nancy's here. Dust Devil Garage. Andrew Nelson. Howdy, sir. I'm your 11th subscriber on that channel. I enjoyed your video doing not narrowing, but putting the Trailblazer brackets on the Ford 8.8. I thought that was a great video. If you haven't seen that one, check it out. If one of the mods had put up the link to that, that'd be great. The Nelsons did a great video putting together an 8.8 rear for a Trailblazer. And they make it look so easy. Indirect Connection is here. Junkyard Delta. NSB Custom Cars. Heavens Mopar Scott. How's it going, sir? I'm already making upgrades to how we do the annual traditional No Name Nationals clock, speaking of Scott. So that's already in the works, and I don't know who's going to get it yet. Main Street Mopar, howdy. American Gangster, it's Gangster. And it features a bunch of gangstas. It's a great movie, though. It's very, very loosely based on a true story of Harlem drug lord Frank Lucas. And Denzel Washington plays him. Does a great job. Josh Brolin's in it. Just a really good movie. There aren't many really good movies, I don't think, in the modern era. I mean, way too much CGI, and you can tell they follow a formula for box office profitability rather than just the director wanting to tell a really good story. That's why I really like American Gangster by Ridley Scott, and I really like No Country for Old Men by the Coen brothers. Those are still, and you know, Ridley Scott's got his own predictable stuff, but the Coen brothers really like to tell good stories. They're known for that. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat is here. Howdy. Michael Robert Embry, with all the bizarre syntax that goes along in the name there. Wouldn't be him without it. Graham Pito Vic sent us over. Never Done Projects. I think I've seen you in here before, but it may have been last week. Levi says the ramp truck made its first forward and reversed moments since I bought it. Tomorrow we drive it out of the garage. Excellent. Sounds good. 416 is my P.O. box. I am not at all surprised by that. Cool. I bet you've had it forever too, haven't you, Tom? My mom is here. Frizzell says, when you go ramp truck life, you never go back. Oh, I bet. Ramp truck's got to be handy for a lot of stuff, not just cars. Levi says, the Nelsons will like to know that we will have a 4,200 powered 77 Malibu in the next few years as a gas-getting driver. Okay. Hot Rod Guy Garage says, hi there, friendos. Don't make me flip a coin with you, Russell. One-Eyed Cat said, did I announce myself yet? Ponders? Maybe. Yes, I'd like to see that. And here is the link to that video with the Nelsons doing the 8.8 rear end. It's a really good video. I mean, it's fun to follow along. It's not that heavy on the tech, but it's really neat to watch them work and put that together. But that's a fun project to follow along. Calvin wants a 10-second quarter mile daily in a Trailblazer. It just sounds great. Sounds like a lot of fun. Levi wants the ramp truck, but still enjoys the enclosed for super long trips. Enclosed are great, and there's a lot of good reasons to have them. Weather, security, lots of stuff. But I'll tell you, it is so cool seeing race cars go down the road on an open trailer. It's just so neat, and you just can't have that with an enclosed. Perhaps the syntax is a riddle. No, if it was Dean Stevenson, I would fully believe that. Tony's Hot Rod Garage is in the house. Appreciate Tony being here. Tony's been helping me with projects this week. He's just good like that. Two Hacks Jeff, how's it going? Quentin Tarantino makes some good films too. Absolutely. I've seen most of his. But you know, the one that Unfinished Project was talking about, how he'd only seen snippets of No Country for Old Men. I've only seen snippets of Jackie Brown. I haven't seen all of Tarantino's, but I don't know, might be a worthy thing to do. His movies make you think. You got to watch them a few times to get it all. Two Hacks Jeff flying his rainbow flag. 286 days, 3 hours, 50 and a half minutes to be exact. Busted Radio Garage is in the house, and Twisted Dennis. How's it going? 33 years living in a small town, right on. Frizzell has been working on a video on how to build a race-style stick-shift transmission at home. Well, that's cool. That's cool. My friend Robert used to do just that. Used to modify his synchros and sliders and change the shifting capabilities on his top loader Fords. We're almost above freezing. Time to do car stuff. The weather is just terrible. It is so cold out there. Yeah, Cope decided it wasn't cold enough for him, so he decided to go north to Michigan to go to a house on the lake where it's too cold to go outside. Whatever floats his boat. I'm like the only one who thought Pulp Fiction Reservoir Dogs were lame. I've only seen pieces of Reservoir Dogs, but and I want to see the whole thing, mainly for Lawrence Tierney. But Pulp Fiction, it's a neat movie, but if you haven't seen it in a long time, you should watch it again, because most people watch that. I don't know anybody who's ever watched it and didn't get it till at the end, and then you put the pieces together and you still don't always get all of it, but it's interesting because you're watching concurrent events shown in series. It's a thinking person's movie. Heavens Mopar says, although I can't work on the Charger for now because of having to work on the house for the next year, but I'm having a friend build the 383, also having a 340 assembled for the 62 Valiant. I hear you, Scott. You got a whole year of house stuff. 28 years in that house, Don says. How time flies. Yes, it does. Time is the one thing we can never get any more of. Buff Del Campos, has it got cold here in Tennessee too? Well, I would assume so. It's usually about 4 or 5 degrees warmer where you are. Andrew Nelson says, funny note on the rear, we made one rear wider for the Trailblazer, and at the same time we narrowed a second rear, swapped the long for the short. Huh. Now the Trailblazer rear is a narrowed 62-inch and the other is 56. Okay. Couldn't quite follow that, but that's pretty cool. You did a great job. The one thing I am wondering on that, though, is that you didn't look like you gusseted anything and before you painted it. So you don't want to do like a back brace or anything where those tubes were cut? Just curious. I don't know. And speaking of good welders, here's Redbeard 710. What's going on, Daniel? Glad you could make it by. Unfinished project. Put up the link for Tim again. If you haven't seen it, Tim has a black Ford Lightning clone, and it's running CRT's E4D trans brake number 1, and to great effect. He's really got a great program going on with the truck. He's starting to put up video, so check it out. Really nice guy. Last I saw, he had 27 subscribers, so he's got a ways to go. That's 483 by my math, and he's got 286 days, 3 hours, 46.5 minutes to get them. I've not seen that one because there's some of his stuff I just don't even want to watch, but I may check it out. Christoph Waltz is, of course, in that, and he was excellent in Django Unchained, and I think I'd like to see it just for that. Going to be a great series on the Mustang video with Hot Rod Guy Garage. Everything Russell does is a great series. He has a good channel. Man, there's a guy who just stepped up and made it happen. It's Russell. If you haven't checked out Hot Rod Guy Garage, you should check it out. Unfinished project reminding people that the registration is open for the 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals. Yes, it is. It's open right now. Heathens assembled. Well, 46 of them so far. We put on external fish plates. Okay. Unfinished project says Death Banana. Okay. Buffalo Brian only got 2 feet of snow last week. He considers himself lucky. You know, I was telling the guys from New Guys Garage, New Guys Guitar, that I would have thought that the invention of the automobile would have rendered Minnesota uninhabited. You would have thought. I said, at least the Ingalls can blame their horses on getting lost. But, I mean, One-Eyed Cat Don says, I'm registered and it feels good. Right on. Where is Don registered? Dennis says he is registered, and I have Dennis. Dennis was number 11 this year. Brazil says, I'm hoping me and Dallas can grudge race this year. Well, Dallas is always there. Blake says it's a wasteland with lakes in them all. People get upset there also. I'd get upset if I had to live there. Never been to Minnesota. Never been to Iowa. Had somebody ask me about New York today. I said, never been there either. 6th Street Garage says, I just saw the CRT video about catastrophic failures. Does anyone know if the man in the blue Dakota was injured? I have no idea, but I can tell you, people that think it's funny to screw around with that drum on the 727 neutral dropping them are asking to lose a foot or worse. Those things are bombs when people do that. I mean, and there's things you can do to prevent that. Dr. Go is here. Good evening, all. I wanted to show support for our community event that John and so many others worked so hard to put on the No Name Nationals for us. Took the advice and registered for 2025. Yeah, and thank you. I will tell you, registering early helps. If you register early, what it helps us do is it helps us project the budget for the event. There is no hedge, right? The event doesn't have a nest egg yet because we wanted to try to keep this as budget friendly for you guys as we possibly can. Okay. So rather than having an event where you guys are just subsidizing hiring talent and the things these corporate events do, we don't do that. We just want the event to be fun, safe, and pay for itself. And so we've never really, created a hedge of profit. However, with that said, if we could get, say, 150 cars registered by Memorial Day, that would be incredible, because it would help us have so many base costs paid. And then the gate and merch sales and buybacks and these kind of things could all go toward making a hedge, which would let us add things to the event, and also would help give us some insurance against a rainout, for example. So there is benefit to registering early, and I've seen mildly more apathy as time has gone on. People expect it to be there. They know we'll be there. They know they can register at the last minute. But I will tell you that registering early helps the event to be the best it can be, and that will help the event grow. And registering early, if we start to get a bumper crop of registration early, I might say, hey, we already have 100 cars registered. And if I could say that in March, how cool would that be? Then you'd have more people want to show up. And we do. We've always had that many cars or more. Thing is, when people don't register until the day before or until they get in the truck to leave, we can't, so that's the thing. So registration early does help. It helps us out. That said, if you don't know until the day of the event if you can make it, by all means, come on. We want you to be there, though. Redbeard says, I can't deal with the mosquitoes. What, Minnesota in the winter? It's a hardy mosquito. Fart Sack Jack said, never been to Spain, but I've been to Oklahoma. I had no idea that those had any equivalents. Dakota says, howdy, friendos. One-Eyed Cat Dawn says, the farthest west I've been is Sykeston. Brooke says, thank you for the banner. Well, she won it. Dust Devil Brian says, I'm registered. Can confirm. Technician Troy says, I want to be at the 2025 so very bad. Well, me too. We will just have to see what the next 286 days, 3 hours, and 39 minutes holds. Yeah, I've thought on having a swap meet, but the thing about the swap meet and the parts, and then it just kills all the effort of the guys that do the No Name 500 to be there, and it turns into a things event, and it just, no. There's so many cool things we want to grow to do, and just leave the same 100 old guys bringing the same parts out for the same 30 years, sitting behind their trucks. That's plenty of places for that. That's a things people think, and that's great. Swap, great. Nothing at all against swap meets, but that's cool for other stuff. That said, people who show up to participate in the No Name Nationals, I don't care if you want to set parts in your pit stall and sell them. I don't care. I don't care if you want to do that at the event. Unfinished project says BRG $400 Mustang. Okay. Scott says, since I'm in the planning stage, I also sold the wrecked 68 Coronet roller to help fund a Superbird conversion kit for future project and traded the rollback bid for a ramp truck bid for the L700. Old McDonald says, the farthest west I've been is Hollywood. Farthest south, Cabo San Lucas. Farthest north is Quebec. Furthest east is Charleston. Okay, a lot of traveling. Technician Troy says, life's been crazy lately. Hope y'all are doing well, healthy and thriving. Cool. I believe all of us that are registered have already put in for leave. Cool. Never Done Project says we got 286 days to not try and run stock cars. Well, but the thing is, if you don't get your car, the thing is, don't get wrapped up around the axle on whether or not you get the car done as to whether or not you're coming to No Name Nationals. That stifles so many people, and it shouldn't, because the event is not about the cars. The event is about the people. And once you've been there, you know that. So new people don't realize. It's not like if you don't get that project done, don't bother coming. Once you've been there, you get it. You get it. It's all about the people, and the cars take care of themselves. What I will say, though, is now is the time to sketch your plans out on paper, put them on the wall of your shop if need be. But I would try to set your goals in such a way that you accomplish goals sequentially, so that even if you fall short of the biggest goal, you're still in a place where you can still bring your project, you can still come, or bring a project, or bring anything, or bring your daily. But the thing is I wouldn't set one ultimate goal and plan only to hit that in 286 days. I think that is the things that a lot of people do, and 3/4 of those people wind up not making it. And that's what we don't want to see. So I would say, like, for example, if you have a project car and it needs, the front end redone, it needs, it needs an engine overhaul or swap, it needs this, it needs that, you want to make an upgrade to the rear, whatever. Start with the first goal being something that if you just had that done, the car would still run and drive, you can still bring it. And then make your second, goal within the overall, something you can do, be done, overall, swap it. And then make the third goal to be something you can do overall and swap it. Because here's the thing. What's going to happen is you're going to be like the Brian Brinker story. With Brian Brinker, the first year the car didn't make it. The second year it made it on display. The third year it made it down the track. The fourth year, I think it's going to throw down a time. And that's where you want to be. One-Eyed Cat's asking what number I register in line. Well, I'll get back with you on that, Don. Dakota says, I love a good swap meet. Me too. Just doesn't have to be at the No Name Nationals. Yeah, I will tell you. So the No Name Nationals winds up kind of like being my personal swap meet, because I know that I've had a transmission come to me from Nebraska. I've had an intake manifold come to me from Illinois. I've had a rear axle housing come to me from Arizona. The No Name Nationals is where stuff just comes to me. So, and I will tell you, I'm just going to just put this out there. If any of you people are sitting on some of these Chrysler transmission cores, or you want to sell them, I might be interested in just buying some cores if you want to bring them. So be thinking about that. 727 904 46 A500. Be thinking about that. I'd be interested in that. If you have cores, let me know, because I will just be interested in that. Only thing I don't like about swap meets is I normally don't have enough trunk space. So this is not just a gratuitous plug, but I will tell you, if you are interested in maximizing your swap meet experience, I've got a video on my channel, the Swap Meet Survival Guide. And if one of the mods wants to stick up a link to that, Dakota, if you haven't seen that, you should. It is a good guide for how to make the most out of your swap meet experience. And the other thing too is if you bring a van or a truck or a trailer, you're guaranteed to not find that giant part like sheet metal or something you needed. The BTP flea market was a pretty good profit. Was there? Yeah, cool. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is they're there for the right reasons. They're not like guys that are, 50 miles away that are like, hey, man, I want to go sell some parts. And you're participating for the right reasons. So I don't have any problem people stacking on the parts trade on top of that. John always said, if you write it down and make a plan, you can make stuff happen, like getting to the No Name National. His word of advice worked for me. Might not have been easy, but totally worth busting our butts. Well, I will tell you. The difference between a dream and a goal is the goal has to have a time frame and it has to have an action plan. And dreaming is great, but goals. We need goals. We need goals to send our dreams toward. So I remember one of my many firearm trainers over the years, the late James Yeager. He used to say, my calendar doesn't say one of these days. There's no one of these days on James' calendar. And I don't believe in that either. So to me, you have to have something on a calendar. You just do. And that is exactly where this came from. That was the late James Yeager who founded Tactical Response, which I think was and probably still is the best training school in the country in Camden, Tennessee. Wise fella. Learned a lot of stuff from him, but that's one of them. And that is the difference between a dream and a goal is you have to have a time frame or deadline, but I say a time frame and an action plan. So we give you the time frame. The community will help you get your action plan and make it happen. I know there's a lot of cars been sitting 30 years, and the No Name Nationals has gotten some of those moving. And so if the support of the community and your peers help you make it happen, then that's awesome. Dakota said, last time guy had a disassembled Buick 455 and TH 400 for $125. Trunk was already full. I was sick. Take the lid off. A friend of mine had an 85 Cavalier, blue 85 Cavalier. And I used to think it was wild that he had 360,000 miles on it. And yet within maybe by the end of the year, I'm going to turn that over on the CRV. But this Cavalier, one time he went to the machine shop in Whitfield, which is, I don't know, 45 miles maybe from where he lived. And he had to get a 460 and a 454 short block and heads and cranks and parts. He had two of them at the machine shop at the same time. And he took the trunk lid off of this Cavalier and he put both of them in there. And the thing looked like one of these memes you see where the guy's loading something at Lowe's and the whole front end of the car is stuck up in the air. And yeah. But this was, of course, in the late 80s. This was before everybody had a camera on their cell phone. So many things we just don't have from that. Dr. Ghost said, hey, Indirect, saw you on Cope's Live. Yeah, indeed. Indirect Connection Jason is famous. Yeah, I tried to get Indirect Connection Jason to, I tried to get him to do the prank call of Cope. But if you haven't seen that, I don't even know where that, I haven't. I guess Cope's Live is still up. But anyway, it's immediately after he unfurls this giant Trump 1 flag. So if you want to scan to find it, look for that moment and you'll find the prank phone call. I pitched it to Jason, but he was afraid. He didn't want to make Cope mad. I think it made Cope's day, actually. Fart Sack Jack says, I have tons of related items. I have no car to race, but I can't afford just to drive down and spend all the money. I need to try to recoup some. You've got 286 days worth of swap meets all over the place. You can do that. Put it in the jar. Busted Radial says No Name Nationals may not have, probably won't happen this year. Well, if it doesn't, it doesn't. But if you can make it, you're welcome to. You can always just come on, man. You know you're welcome. Same thing I said last year, or well, technically this year. The gate is open, and we're here. Unfinished projects at 40 Saturdays until No Name Nationals 2025. I'll take his word for it. But I mean, every day is Saturday to me. That their days aren't much alike. Swap meat like Uber Eats. You order first, then it's delivered. That's kind of how I do mine. Yeah. I hope Chris makes it. I hope so. The biggest goal is to make it to the event. You know, the thing about the event is a placeholder for what it represents. The idea is to be there. The idea is to come and want to be there, you know, for all of these folks, this community. And it gives us a time. It gives us a place. It gives us all of those things where no can gets kicked down the road. That's what it gives us. So it's not about this event. And there are people who've just misinterpreted that as thinking that the event is all that. No, what it is it's the place that all of these people will be. And it's the only place where all of these people will be. There is no other place where all of these people show up. And so that's the thing. That's what makes it special. That's the secret sauce. There is zero chance that Rich will be there. Absolutely none. Rich could have made the first one or second one. We tried to help him. We gave him all the help under the sun. And his absolutely horrible attitude kept that from happening. It's sad. But we move on. Andrew Nelson says, no joke, major progress on the 2025 No Name National. Cool, man. The grass does not grow under the Nelson's feet. As Andrew Nelson said, something I think was really, really useful and helpful, as he said, if you have 10 minutes, do a 10-minute job. And the time management of the Nelsons is amazing. They are something to watch work. Their whole philosophy has got them where they are. Yeah, you have to be smart enough. You've got to have certain things that prerequisites to be able to do certain things. But I will tell you, really, what I think separates, what really separates people with them is their work ethic. It's pretty amazing. And their sense of family values is amazing too. Never to be underestimated. I think a lot of people underestimate how much that actually contributes to their lives. Pickups use more gas too. Well, dude, if you're going to go to the swap meet and you're going to spend more on that extra item that you can put in the pickup bed than you would ever have saved in the gas mileage. So you pretty much have to sacrifice one to have the other. But worth it. Generally, yes. Invited to participate in an event in California. Okay. Tall Garage says 1 year I'll be there. Nope, not 1 year you'll be there. My calendar doesn't have one of these years. That's how it works. Step one is to slap a torque converter then. We got plans, but we don't want to do like you said and get too far and not make it. Right. I would say write your plans down, put them on a calendar, write them on the wall. Do what you need to do so that it actually you get to that. And then you do it in stages so that you can make it. I think there's too many people that are worried about having a car done to bring. And I really think that that's the opposite of what the No Name Nationals is about. It's not about having the car done. In fact, you know, when you think about it, and I know another YouTuber has said this, I don't know, caught the broken clock and strike twice a day. He said that once a project is done, it starts dying. And there's a lot of truth to that. This is why when you go to a car show and you see guys sitting behind the really nice restorations, they all look bored out of their mind because the project is done. And we want the the project to continue to have life and breathe and happen. And that's what a project needs. So the thing with the No Name Nationals is, let's say that you bring a car one way one year, then you improve upon it the next year and improve upon it the year after. Lots of channels are doing that. So never say, I don't want to show up if I can't bring enough. It'd be really cool to bring a car that runs 10-second eighth miles the first year, then 9s, then 8s, then 7s, then 6s. What a story that is. Especially considering a lot of those cars wouldn't run at all if we didn't have the orange paper pushing us, along with all the community we want to be there for. Grill from Pennsylvania. That is correct. I knew I'd forget something, but yes, the grill from Pennsylvania for the van. That is right. Future generations will watch this and think fondly on the Brian Brinker story. I agree. I completely agree. Long after I'm room temperature worm food, somebody's going to watch what Brian Brinker did at the No Name Nationals and be inspired. Yeah, I'm wondering, Twisted Mopar Dennis, who he's going to have to drive all these. It's almost like he wants to have, some jockeys. John wants a few $700 Fords. Yeah, you know what? Believe it or not, I was actually thinking today, in and amongst all the terrible thinking that I do too much of, there's something I would not mind at all designing for a $700 R4. I'm sure I won't, but there's something interesting. Ramp truck will be ugly, but will be functional, and we'll be at No Name Nationals. Well, cool. We brought a rear end to Shane in Tennessee. Yeah. You scrapped a bunch of 726. Yeah, you didn't. No, you didn't. Hey, one-eyed cat, let me know when you're ready for that converter. Yes. Hit up Mike Iben about the converter. Go see him. He's in your state, man. Beckerwood Customs Aaron says the Dust Devil Garage, the Brian Brinker stories, what our hobby is all about, mate. Serious. I am for real. Dust Devil Brian is the everyman. He is the story. This event was made for him. Tape measure and a pair of socks. Let me tell you, you need both of those at a swap meet. Grandma Vic is here. How's it going? There's Indecisive Garage, a.k.a. Tim Jacobson. Yeah, if you have not yet checked out his channel is up on my homepage right now. Do check it out, because that truck, we want to see it in Sykeston Racing, and he still needs on the order of 477 subs. Bad Tree Blake says the one thing I don't like about swap meets is the lack of Mopar stuff. That's why the Nationals, Indy, and the Park are so seductive. Okay. Maybe. I'm going to be at the Indy swap this year. I've already committed to that. So I will be there. February 28th, March 1st. There's the link to the Swap Meet Survival Guide. Thank you, Lars. I appreciate that. Yes, I will be at the Indy Swap Meet February 28th, March 1st. I'm going to be working a booth for Cope Racing Transmissions. So if you want to see the SFI 727 case and cool valve bodies and other assorted Mopar product, come see me. Anybody that knows me knows that's a lie, because I have a hard time throwing away a dry rod and fuel line. Dakota, I've been to your place. I know better. Mopar from the Mississippi is another good one. Cool. Fun to Pontiac off all the Mopar people in the No Name Nationals. It's 70% Mopar. It's not 70%. I actually did the numbers on it the first year, and it was close to half, but that number has decreased percentage-wise each year. It was Mopar heaviest the first year because my friends, a lot of Mopar people who were friends. So the word of mouth got around before the event spread organically. And the percentage of Mopar was heaviest the first year, and it has tapered back each, with car count being the same and more. So we are getting more and more Fords and Pontiacs and GM and all of that. But yeah, the first year we were definitely the heaviest Mopar, and I think Mopar still leads by a small amount, but it's not much. More parity now than you think. Mopar Taxman surely attends all swap meets. Yeah. Grandma Vic asks how everyone is doing. Well, I'm better than room temperature. Travis's Mopar Garage. How's it going, Travis? Sean O'Brien says, popping in from my mom's house in Louisiana. Remember to spend time with family. Right on, man. I agree. And as I always say, family first, you know. You can be here on Friday night. Be here on Friday night. That's cool. We're glad to have you. But, man, if you spend time with family, do that. Is registration open? Yes, it is. Registration is open. We're not announcing the event until the 27th of December, that Friday. But the registration is open. I got you a date earlier this year. Possum helped me with that. Little Possum actually did. We had some things that caused us to not have as much ability to shore up the date earlier in years past. And this year, because of some changes going on in the world of events in geography in general, we were able to get a date earlier and commit to it earlier. So this is the most notice you've ever had on the date, ever. September 18th through the 20th, 2025. My time frames end up a 20-minute project is 2 days plus parts. That is correct. That's why you don't try to use all of your time. You try to get it done early. That is why. Yep, Lars puts up the link. Yep, you can register right now at nonamenationals.com. And we're working on some other cool stuff that's going to be coming to the No Name Nationals site here in the next couple of weeks. You'll probably see something about it next Friday. So be on the lookout. There's some cool stuff. And when we put new stuff on the website, we're going to give some stuff away. Win it before you can buy it. 38 Racing said the No Name Nationals is why the blue car got done. Cool. Now you get to enjoy it 365 days a year. I'll get it done tonight. Right on, man. Thank you. Who's this Pops or Junior? I don't know. Lowry's Garage. How's it going? Junior's just in hospital with baby still. Well, cool. No idea. That pizza thing is kind of nasty, man. I don't know. I get it. It kind of looked like him with the glasses, though. But it wasn't Aurelio's pizza, so, we know it's not Coke. If you make a plan, make sure it's flexible, like Mike Tyson said. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's right. JB says the No Name Nationals is the only reason I put effort into the trash truck. Cool. I'm glad you guys are doing it for you. I mean, this community getting together to want to see everybody else prosper for the sake of doing this with everyone else is the reason we do this stuff. Tall Garage. Why say no when it feels so good to say yes? I don't know. Some people, just their mantra. Oh, here we go. Lars says, hey, Lars, did I put that? Oh, wait a minute. You know what? We can do that on here. Lars, I sent you, didn't I put that on an unlisted link? Did I send you that? You can just send them. You can post a link in here. It's not public on my channel, but everybody who's here watching can see it with the link. Or you can skip to that 5950. Whatever you want to do. A lot of nice people here. Yes. Yes. We actually work to weed the people who are not nice out. And historically, we have. So when you see somebody belly aching and saying, I'm not going to No Name Nationals anymore, just realize they have self-selected to be that way. There's a handful of them every year. No big deal. But the big deal is we have the most awesome community on all of YouTube, and it's right here. And we see them in person. And I've never once heard anybody say, man, I was psyched to meet these people and stoked to meet them all. And then, they let me down in person. I've never heard that once, not one time. Everybody says everybody's even cooler in person than they are on YouTube. That's the kind of community we have. You will not be disappointed. Hot Rod Guy Garage says, can't beat a Cavalier. I put $300,000 on one myself. A 93 golden tan 4-door. Used all 1,500 in scrap brake rotors and trunk once a month. Yeah. Yep, they're workhorses. I bought an 01 Cavalier from a friend of mine, and then I let him borrow it. And then, this is like the most deadbeat story ever, but his wife wound up kicking him out, stealing the car, hiding the car, and then going across the country to Oregon for some internet boyfriend named after some lettuce. Okay. I found her in Oregon, and I waited. I found her. I found the house. I called in a favor with the paralegal. I found the tax records. I found the owner. I called him, and I said, hey, do you have a new tenant named this? He said, wow, yeah, I do. He just moved in. Do you know him? I said, no, but I know that girlfriend is. He said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah. Do me a favor. Keep some eyes on it for me. Sure enough, I waited until she got a Greyhound ticket to go out there. I hit her with 10 days notice service of process, and I got a big judgment on her. Big judgment. But anyway, yeah, so yes, I had the 2001 Cavalier, and yes, it got stolen. And I got a judgment for more than 10 times what I paid for that car. Honesty goes a long way. Grampito Vic's doing a video putting the heads on the engine with his granddaughter. That's cool. I like that. That's really cool. Looking forward to seeing that. When that comes up, I'll try to watch for it and share it. Yes, this is a family. This is the best family. It's actually more functional than a lot of families. JB's truck is an axe on the strip. Just needs to, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, for real. Blake's got a good attitude. He doesn't have any insecurity about, things like that in the bracket, because Blake's got more credentials than probably almost anybody here in this chat when it comes to racing. So it's kind of neat. And he's happy for JB to win that round. I thought that was really cool. Very cool. Very sportsmanlike. Shows what the people at this event are made out of. They're my kind of people. Just about time for some call-outs. I agree. I promise our car will not be done. They're never done. They're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be. John, all of our local big boy restaurants are getting evicted. The company who owns all the rents is called NNN, right? Yeah, it's triple net lease. So, yeah, that's a typical thing you suffer. I didn't think about that, but you're right. That's right. The triple net lease real estate investment trust. That's what REIT stands for, too, by the way. Watch me break out some of my day job on y'all. If your car is ready, it will break. Wait till the last minute. But I got to tell you, the Bad Tree guys are better at rallying from that stuff than anyone. Not that you want it to happen. I got to tell you, the channels you see around YouTube, and I'll mention the Bad Tree guys specifically, Bad Tree, Just Mopar Joe, a lot of channels like that. The ones who it always seems like you can't keep them out. You can't break them from being there. You can't, there's no excuse that seems to stop their plans. Just things slow them down. They reconfigure, they make it happen. But that's not by accident. That's not luck. It's you got to really look behind the work ethic and the character of the people doing that. It's because what you'll see is that they have the same number of setbacks and bad luck and all that as everyone else. The difference is they just keep working through it. And that's a lot of what they do. And you figure that out. Dawn is another one. Dawn is another one. Always shows up, always has it together. But that's because if Dawn has 1 hour in a day to do it, Dawn does it. There's a reason for this sign here. This is a quote from my friend Gizmo Parjo. It says, "Excuses are the tools of incompetence." Joe lives by that, and you can tell. Colleen says, "We've had a lot of a lot of unfinished projects to event." Yeah, that's true. That's true. Skip has Brian, Road Beer Garage. Don't forget Clint. Lots of people have. And Cement Surfer Russell, he did. Got his car running at the event. Yeah. Oh, Tall, just wait and see what it is. I told them specifically, let's get the rules absolutely set, and then we'll announce them here on the 27th of December. A broken clock is not always right twice a day, especially if it's a day you forget to set them forward or back. It's still right twice a day. It's still right twice a day. I literally picked up my drive shaft from the machine shop after welding back a lost balance weight, and the drive shaft went in just 90 minutes before I packed it the road for the no-name nationals. And that's sometimes what it takes. And here's another thing too. Let me just put this little spin on it for you when it comes to this last minute stuff. Let's say that you get your project 98% of the way done, and then you have that little heartbreaking moment when you're like, that moment you realize it's not going to go on the trailer and it's not going to go to Sykeston. Okay, that sucks, but think about this. If that project sat for 5 years, it didn't make it it didn't make it in 2022, it didn't make it in 2023, and it didn't make it in 2024. So if you come up short 1 year and then you make it the next, in the grand scheme of things, it's still going to wind up being a win. JB's done that. The first, he did a 13-second, then a 12-second, then a 10.9. Just keeps getting that truck can really be quick. I suspect I'm behind. Maybe not on the order Dallas gets behind. I'm pretty behind. So PRI next weekend. Who all's going to make it? I don't see making it. I'd like to. If I had a reason to go, I might. Yeah, I need to skip up and get on time. I hate getting behind on my comments. I shouldn't do that. I try never to do that. I never had a live show. Well, that's kind of my product. Although I do some video. Someone's enjoying the car, just not me. Well, if you're happy for them enjoying the car, then you still are in a way. Oh, don't do it for me, Colleen. Do it for you. That's why I do this, is for you guys. I don't do this for me. I made my dream event, and I don't get to participate in it like you do. Enjoy it. Blakester is out. We'll see you, buddy. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I need to get current. I somehow got behind on the questions. I don't normally do that. That's okay. I'm catching up. It drove me to Toyota. Toyotas are good vehicles. I won't take that from them. Sometimes failure is not an option. Kim Fixes Things says we made 1,000% more project, I guess, progress on our Valiant because we almost made our goal 2 years ago. Yeah, and that, exactly. That's true. No, that's really true. If you come up short on your goal and then it takes you another year, you're going to exceed your goal for the next year and have a car you might not have had at all for the next 10 years. So that's just kind of how it works. The main thing is just keep making progress. Jim's Fastback Garage says, I got many things fixed because I was determined to make it to the show. No Name Nationals 2024. Yeah, exactly. But it's really, it's not the event itself. It's we're doing this all for each other in the community, and we all get to see it. And it gives you a little bit more purpose of why to do it and what to do it for. And, there's a lot of cool projects and things, and to do them for no one to see or not to be able to share with anyone, that to me it's just not as much fun. SSR Performance, aka Big James, how is it going, sir? Yeah, I know, Lars. I did. Believe that, but I am catching up. The trash truck is 100% dedication. He's put more effort into that supercharger than I would. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the thing is, isn't it cool? Isn't that truck cool? And, here's something a lot of you don't know. The trash truck was the official utility vehicle of the No Name Nationals this year. So Lars and I were running around in the trash truck doing all kinds of stuff. We were, going all over the property. We used it to drive in the fence post because you got to have a tailgate to stand on to put the fence posts in for the welcome sign. And we were using it for banners. And we put the guard wall signs up, hauled them in that. Trash truck was an MVP this year, let me tell you. Unfinished project later, man. Thanks for coming by. I always appreciate you. Kim says, I reserve the right to move my own goalpost. You can move your own goalpost, but you can't move past this if you want this year. That one's fixed. We fought until the last minute this year, wound up a minivan and 2 mini bikes. Hey, remember your clock, Colleen? Time to roll the back up the minivan? That happened, didn't it? Hey, Colleen, what on your clock, on the Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans, No Name Nationals inspirational clock, what on there didn't happen? Sometimes failure is the progress. Well, I can tell you, I know I am not the picture of health by far, but when I did heavyweight training for years and years, I can tell you that working to failure all the time, you reevaluate what you think of failure. You really do. You got to get under a weight an awful lot of times and not get it to get it once. Goals are important. Won't get there if we don't want it. That's right. Only good from failure is knowledge gained. Well, but I mean, look, you have to learn somehow. It's not all academic. You can move the goalpost, but the end zone is always the same. A good way of looking at it. Let me go look. Yeah, go look. Those times are priceless. Time is the one thing we never get any more of. We can get more money. We can potentially get more health. There's a lot of things we can get more of, but we're never going to get any more time. 287 days. No, JB, it's 286 days. 286 days and 3 hours. Smoker and Sean sticking his head in here, dashing leaving. Smoker and Sean, are you coming to the Indy Swap February 28th and March 1st? I hope to see you there again. Smoker and Sean is a good racer too. I hope to see him at No Name Nationals. Hope it works out. We need more dart sport people. Mohawk 62 says, if you're in this community, you can't fail. If you're in this community, there's something to be said for that right from the start. Everyone starts somewhere. You never start being the best or knowing everything. That's right. And you know what? You're never going to be the best. If you always know there's always somebody who knows more and always somebody who's got the edge, it keeps you humble. There's always that guy, right? Hard to believe it's already been an hour. Depending on what's going on in your world, the time can go by quickly. Sometimes it's just the least little thing you can do that means the most. At some point, the pros even failed a few times. John Force is completely self-made. His bedroom, he used to sleep in the windowsill of a single wide trailer in this little trailer park out there in Yorba Linda, California. And that dude didn't grow up with any money. He is completely self-made. That guy has heard the word no and had the door shut in his face 1,000 times. And he has built an empire with his work ethic. I'm sure going to try for both. Cool, man. I'll get to see you in the spring and the fall. I still haven't decided what the next project is. We just want to see you there, man. Whatever you come up with, I'm sure we'll enjoy it. There's a link to the Dart Sport of Smoke Wrench Garage. And by the way, and I'm not picking on Den of Dreams Garage at all. Good dude. I was thrilled to meet him at Sykeston. You can tell he's not a Mopar guy, though, because he has a Dart Sport. In his video titles, he calls it a Dart. And see, only non-Mopar people think that Sport is just like some trim option. No, Dart Sport is a whole different body of car. Like, it has a different wheelbase, a different body. It's actually a Duster with a Dart front clip on it. So that is one where you do need to say the Sport. It's not like Dart and Dart GT and Dart GTS and Dart 170 and Dart 270. It's not like that. No. It is a different car. And it's a wonky name because, as you know, the religion lobby in 1971 had a dying duck fit over the name Demon put on a car by Dodge as their equivalent of the Duster. So they changed it for a 73 model year to Dart Sport. If you knew time like I do, you wouldn't talk about wasting it. That's from the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland per Heaven's Mopar Scott. Scott reads a lot of interesting stuff. You're a psychic. No, it's called experience. I knew everything. I saw your videos. I knew everything you guys were going to have coming your way. I have a crazy idea in my head. Right on, man. When Dennis gets crazy, I want to see it. Andrew Nelson says, feel free to come over and help out while you figure out what you want to get. I barely remember the whole Demon debacle. Well, I was -4 when it happened, so I can't say I remember it. And Colleen sent a picture of this. I put this on the No Name Nationals clock in, I guess it was January or February of 2023. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. Mopars and Mustangs crossed out. Minivans still left. Time to roll the backup. And the gear noise and the miles and miles of wiring and the Bojangles and all of that was on that clock came to fruition. Here's Lars' link to Nivlak's latest rear end video. Yep. So for those of you who weren't here, Nivlak 57 team, Andrew and Calvin, put together an 8.8 Ford for Calvin's Daily Driver Trailblazer project. It's a cool video. It's worth watching. It's good stuff. And there, you learn something every video there's you watch too. Levi said, my father was probably only a couple years old. How old is your dad, Levi? I don't think I want to know. I'm old enough to be your dad. Grandma Vic asks how I'm feeling. I feel better now than I did even an hour ago. Started off pretty slow today. LP94 says, got a link to the No Name Nationals clock video. I guess that's Colleen's. Got to drive later, y'all. See you, Sean. Thanks for coming out. 53 or 54, can't remember. Yep. Well, I'm halfway to 96 myself. Yeah, do check that out. They did a video on the clock. I don't know who's going to get the clock this year. It is a little early. I try to do the clock the 1st of February. That's kind of my goal time frame. And I'm going to be looking to see. You know, you guys look to see. And you know the criteria. It certainly doesn't have to be an no-name 500 guy by any means. Does not. It isn't always. But it needs to be somebody it needs to be somebody who's committed to being at the No Name Nationals, whether or not their car is going to make it. But it generally goes to somebody who's bitten off more than he or she can chew. I'm almost a quarter century old. Oh my gosh. So are my socks. Dust Devil Brian says I'm halfway to 102. Indecisive Garage says you guys make me feel old. Jim says I'm halfway to 112. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine today. He did not realize that the oldest person, verifiable oldest human being, John Camet of France, was 122 years and 164 days. I actually keep up with the list of super centenarians. I read a half hour a night every night before I go to sleep, generally. And I read about something completely different. Right. And so one thing that I sometimes read about, and I look at the list about once a month, the list of super centenarians, the oldest verifiable people. Super centenarian is 110 years old or older. So centenarian is 100. But this is that list. So I was watching in August the list when the then oldest person in the world, Maria Branius, was in eighth place for all time. Man, I'll tell you. I can't even imagine living that long. I can't. I absolutely cannot possibly have any imagination of living to be 100 years old. But anyway, I think it's cool. I do think extreme. I think extremes of anything are cool. I've always been interested in extreme longevity, extreme height, these kind of things, weightlifting records. It's just cool stuff. Andrew Nelson says you're all kids. I can't even really imagine living to 60, but BNR says half of 110. All right, right on. You know, half of 110 looks like you're trying to do the RM over 2 octane method on the gas pump when you do that there, Brian. Lars put up the link. How many subs is Indecisive Garage at? Tim that has the Lightning clone. Each gray hair is a record of past mistakes. My gosh, are you just trying to tell people how much I suck? I mean, man, I resemble that remark. Look at these people wanting me to do some math. Halfway to 114 will be 57. Mohawk 62 is kind of giving you a hint in the name there what a halfway to 124 is. Barrows is here. Levi says you're probably attracted to the dedication to the goal because living that long isn't easy. And that may be true. There may be something to that. I know that the world's oldest man, John Tenniswood, just died here maybe a week or two ago. He was 112. But I do find the list of oldest verified people interesting. There's one man on it now, and he just got on there. He's like 195th, somewhere in that area. We did have a new 4th place, Juan Perez in Mexico. He lived to be 114. Some serious longevity. The oldest man verified is 116. He's Japanese. I'd like to see Americans get those records because Japan has the oldest man. France has the oldest woman. I'd like to see Americans get those, but, you know, whatever. Colleen says, I'm doing good for almost 60. Kim says, what's the hurry? I have the rest of my life to pick a day to die. For some people, that's quite true. Halfway to 130. My gosh, man. Halfway to 130? You're not that old, are you? I didn't think you were anywhere near that old. Dude. I hope to be that young when I'm 65. Jeez. Rose says, my hair is all gray. I can relate to that remark. I was sitting in a statistics class my freshman year of college, Bluefield College, and it would have been in the fall of 1994. And my classmate behind me, Zach, said, he reaches up and says, dude, you have a gray hair. I'm like, no, I don't. He was right, I did. He said he saw a gray hair on the back of my head. By the time I was 20, I had to come in here pretty good. Now I ask my barber, does it just tell me when I'm more gray than brown? And he says I'm a 55-45. So whatever. I don't care. Rocky Meyer says, what will be Cope's excuse to have the cardboard Cope stand in at No Name Nationals in 2025? I really expect Cope will be there. He wanted to be there this year. He flim-flammed on me really hard last winter. But then as the year went on, he wanted to come, and then he just had a bunch of crap pile up on him the week before and didn't. So I get it. I understand. But I think that barring something ridiculous, he will be there. And I'm really hoping, and I think he can, I'm hoping he will be bringing his cornet. And if not, he'll almost certainly be bringing the power wagon. But I wouldn't at all be disappointed if he brought Haney. Grandma Vic says, I'm great for 61. Cool. Never Done Project says 28 and 55. 28 and 55. Who's 28 and who's 55? I found that interesting. Colleen says, if you can keep your wits that age, cool. If not, I'd rather not. I probably will keep my wits. I probably have a pretty hardy brain, but the rest of me is depreciating as expected. Old McDonald says, I found someone older than me. I'm much better now. Cool. Glad we could make your day. Granddaughter's 12 and has a bunch of gray hairs. Wow. Nothing wrong with gray. My dog is gray. He's been gray ever since he was born. My cousin's aunt got to 105 and he met her at 100. I've been to one 100th birthday party. No, dude. Gosh. Pull your gray hairs out. That's a totally losing battle. DV. Talk about David Vizard. DV is 81. He'll be 82 in May. Indecisive said, my mind is still 40, but the body says it's wrong. He is 28, his dad's 55. Okay. Cool. Let's see here. See if I can find something old for you. About how old people are. Nah, that picture's not ready for prime time. I'll show it to you eventually. But let's see here. All right. Proof that I have not always been gray nor fat and looking like I do. That is me in about, I don't know, the end of 2007. So I'm about maybe 15 pounds lighter than probably my best. I'm pretty lean there, but I'm still, I don't know, I'm still 198, I think, 205, somewhere right in there. So I haven't always been old. And that would have been, of course, I'd have been 30. Been right at 30 there. Wasn't quite. I was a little bit, I wasn't quite 30. So there we go. Proof I haven't always been old. Well, here's another one. This is from about a little after that. Whatever you're there. See, I wasn't always gray. Used to wear a cap a lot more too. Still should, I just don't. Scott says, I just tell the barbers to cut the gray off. I don't feel like getting my head shaved. Ryan Barsness from an extremely cold place. What's the temperature right there, Ryan? Jim says the mind says go, go, go. The body says no. I drag that body where I have to. Last rifle class I took, I made it about a half a day out on that last day, and I was dragging. You don't want to hurt your knee midday on the last day, so it was interesting, but I got through it. It's the maintenance, not the miles. Well, okay. $30 was the high today. I don't know what it got to here today. Says high 30. It's 22 now. Caps and hats makes you lose your hair. I don't know. I've definitely lost a lot more hair since I haven't worn it. Whatever. JB says 42 there today. Yeah. A lot less elevation, too. I'm still recuperating from that 40-foot ladder. Got it off the van and carried it 100 feet by myself. Oh, man, that had to be heavy. Does 10 surgeries count as maintenance? No, it counts as repair, not maintenance. 35 here. Better than here. It's cold here. I got Jethro here. I'm glad he's sleeping. Brenda Cargirl says it used to be new old stock. Now it's just old stock. Yeah, that's true. Our new old stock, the stuff that we always wanted as new old stock is now just old stock. That is correct. Lars says, I haven't been outside without a hat in probably 15 years. I used to be that way. I did, but I don't know. I like hats. Let's see. Maybe I'll wear. Nah, I won't. I was going to say, I have one house to put on. I won't. Yeah, it is definitely. It's repair. It's not maintenance. Because if you were doing the maintenance, you might not have needed the repair. And Aaron is here to rub it all in our face. We got 93 right now. Boo. Boo. Give Aaron a timeout just for telling us that. Someone give Aaron a 5-minute timeout just for posting that. That's cruel. Dougster just got dropped off from having dinner with Cope and Chris. They're in Michigan for the weekend. Yep. They have a Chrysler turbine car. Well, cool. That's cool, man. Jim says we went to Virginia in November and visited Monticello. Cool. Thomas Jefferson's home. I've been there. Did you see the clock that he did and that really elaborate weighted clock that he designed? That, I think, was my favorite thing there. Very history-rich area where I live. Yes, glad you got repaired. That is right. Yeah, get video of Cope with the turbine car. Cope's been wanting to see something on the turbine car related to the transmission, so make sure you get that while you're there. 93, JB, no. Remember where Aaron is. It did get to 93. I have no doubt. That's right. Time him out for that. That's just plain cruel. It's below freezing here, and Aaron just flexing on us at 93. Yeah, it's cold in Vietnam there. I know guys stationed at Fort Bragg, they call it Vietnam. Though, in Fayetteville, you ever go to, what's the name? Is it Grandson's Buffet? You ever go there, Grandma Vic? I think it's Grandson's Buffet. I think it's in like an old Golden Corral building or something. You ever go there? 19 there, and then decide, aren't you from Michigan? Isn't that where you are, Tim? I know Andrew's in York, Pennsylvania area. Not even the dogs want to go out. Tell you what, I don't understand. My dog hates being cold, but he still wants to go out. And then he goes out and realizes why he didn't want to go out and runs back in. Had a conversation on the West Lawn with Thomas himself, with Thomas Jefferson himself. Man, you're even older than we thought, Jim. Thomas Jefferson died July 4th, 1826. It's impressive. That and John Tyler still has one living grandson. For real. Jay, long time 20. How's it going? Jaron, the duck long. Thanks for swinging by. We're going to be dropping some new stuff 1 week from today, and you're going to have a chance to win stuff before you can buy it. Didn't like the food. I actually been there once, and I thought it was good. I thought it was good stuff. I like that place. Yeah, blows you away when you realize how young the founding fathers are when they signed the Declaration of Independence. You know, Thomas Jefferson, I want to say, was 32 or 33 when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. Just goes to show you, you know, how much people had to seek and accrue wisdom earlier in their lives. You ain't old until you're Keith Richards. Keith Richards is fossilized. What are you talking about? I don't know how he's still alive. I really don't. Do you think that dude, anyway, 30s was old back then? I don't know. 30 is a wonderful age. Lars put this up. Jay Longtime 20s. Oh, hey, Jaron, while you're in here, go and check out the intro to this live. If you can, scroll back to the absolute beginning and watch the intro. Your car's in there. It was a great experience. I highly recommend. I do too. And if you're going to be going to Charlottesville, let me know. Maybe I'll meet you there. You never know. I'm not all that far away. I need an excuse to go back. What was the average lifespan in 1776 asking for a friend? I don't know. It probably wasn't but about 60, 62 years old, truthfully. I think the average lifespan right now is on average around 78. It was as low as 72. I think that's come up a little. Of course, it's different for women and men, and it's different for demographics as well. Dougster says, I can't do drugs. Keith already did them all. I'll have to smoke his ashes after it passes. I bet you would. Put some green on them and see if there's anything left, right? Don, if you made it to 50, you did great. Yeah, people. Ask Keith Richards. I don't know Keith Richards. I have a friend named Keith. He's not Keith Richards. He's nothing like Keith Richards. Graham Pito Vic says, hello, John Wilburn. Well, howdy. How's it going, sir? Don says he'll be 60 in June. Thank you very much. Well, and thanks to the advancements we've made in the last 250 years, 248 technically, you'll hopefully get to live a lot longer than that. Yeah, man, I thought you'd like that. I'm going to do some changing around on it. And anyway, Lars actually put that together. So I always give Lars credit for that. But I really like it. And I'm going to make some changes to it and make a more permanent intro that captures more of the spirit of the No Name Nationals. Stress will kill you faster than drugs, alcohol, or tobacco. There is truth in that, Nick. Yes, there is. According to Google, the 18th century average male lifespan was 34. Well, that probably is true, worldwide, and also, you had a lot of undeveloped parts of this country and everything else. But I think you really got to hedge that against where a person lived far more then now than ever. I mean, the difference here might be 25% today. But man, back then it would probably a factor of twice. Yeah, exactly. But that's that probably is counting everything. Like, if you had a smallpox, come through or something, you got to remember in that time in Virginia, there wasn't but probably 1,500 people who lived in the state of Virginia in 1776. I actually looked one time, and in 18, I want to say about before 1800, it was less than 2,000, fewer than 2,000 people. My relatives included in that. Brenda Cargill says, old enough to need my oil galleries re-drilled. Okay. Charlie Watson, the scariest thing he ever heard was when Keith Richards told him he needed to go to rehab. Oh, man. I could see that. Grand Pito Vic, I heard you were putting cylinder heads on with the granddaughter. We're looking forward to video of that. When I see video of that, I'll be sure to share. Uncle Sonny's 87 and still going. Got that going for me. Well, my grandfather lived to be 92 and change, but, his nickname was Skinny, so you can tell I don't take after him. So many. Hello, everyone. Yeah, man. Pretty good little crowd here tonight. It's tapering off now in the last hour, as it usually does, but that's okay. We have a lot of fun. People had 20 kids and maybe half made it to adulthood. Yeah, yeah. They take child mortality. They do, and all kinds of things. So I think you had to look in a bigger picture then to get an idea. Because there's a lot of people back then that you could expect to live to be 15, 16, 70 years old then. A lot of people you never could. They had smallpox. We had COVID. Well, the government wasn't in the business of handling diseases then like they are now. So it was a hard life. You had to earn everything. That's correct. There was no welfare. Back then, it was socially acceptable to starve to death. My grandfather's dad's side lived to 102. That's cool. Nick the Van Man, just got out of my massage appointment. Been investing in my health. I hate being 34 and on blood pressure medication. Your massage appointment. Are you getting your pedicure tomorrow, Nick? Are you going to do a short of that? There were people lived to be 80 and 90 even back then. Yeah, they were very rare, though. Polio was worse than COVID. Yeah, indeed. Andrew says, big day ahead. Got a call tonight. Thank you for doing this each Friday. Thank you for being here. I do this for you guys. And don't forget, next Friday, we're going to be giving some stuff away. Going to be rolling out some new stuff. Going to be giving some stuff away. Lowry says, good night all. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. Typically, we have 4 shifts for this live, and we see people rotate in and out 4 shifts. And that's why when I make announcements, I try to make them every at the top and bottom of every hour for that reason. Cyrus Jones lived to 103. Ask Willie. Okay. Dougster says, my great-grandfather was 93 in 1982 when he passed out. He outlived 2 of his 3 children, both his sons. Danny Boyd says, dad's folks died in their 80s, and he only made 65. I had a client one time who said his grandfather died at 82 or 83. His father died. It was either 82 or 83. He said, so guess how long I'm going to live? And then it was only a few years after that, at 75 years old, he walked down to get the newspaper. That was it. Flat on the kitchen floor and died, just like that. The day before, I saw him running a rollback, picking up. He was coming back from he's gone. I can say this stuff now. The dude used to keep, and again, he's gone. His house is gone. His widow's gone. All that. But this dude used to keep a lot of money, like in his dresser drawer. I mean, like tens of thousands of dollars. And again, it's not a security risk anymore. He's just so long gone and everything. But he used to keep a lot of money. So he bought this house like on a whim. literally on his lunch break. He's dropping off a car or picking up a car, I guess, for the junkyard in this house, and he could buy this little cheap foreclosure for $25,000. He goes and gets the cash out of his dresser and goes and takes the dude. But anyway, yeah, just 75 years old, and that was it. It's a shame. Great guy. I miss him. Dexter says, goes to show when St. Peter sounds his horn, it's time to go. Well, what I think is you got to try to make the best of the time you have. Time is the one thing you never get any more of. So you try to use it the best you can because you're not going to get any more of it. And, if I croak today, I can at least say I've done a lot of cool things and enjoyed a lot of great things that life had to offer. And, there's a lot of people that live a lot of years and just, you hear them when they get old and talk about all the stuff they wish they'd done. I'm like, well, time's the one thing you don't get any more of. I know people, it's amazing what they will let time go away and just slip by and never do. We just shock you. Their life. Nick says, don't croak. Well, I'm not trying to actively, if I'm 98.6 and have a pulse on the 18th of September, I'll be in Sykeston. But, we're not promised tomorrow. Time is like land. They don't make that stuff. Can't get any more of it. You can reclaim more of it that you are on the way to throwing away. That you can do. The van needs side pipes before it's over with. Yeah, I agree. I just got higher priorities in the queue, but I do agree. Danny Boyd says, after I go, St. Peter's going to be behind chicken wire or bulletproof glass, like a gas station in the hood. Yep. Dizzy says, live, laugh, love, and ignore the haters. Well, I've outlasted the haters, I can tell you that. Are you open to zoomies? I'm going to do lake pipes, old classic side pipes on the van. And Nick the Van Man 90 says he's up to doing them. And I want to do them. I think it's going to take like an 80-inch pipe because that van's a long wheelbase. And I want to make that happen. So, Nick, if you can kind of tell me what it's going to cost to do it, I'd love to know just to get an idea. You can just holler at me sometime. But for those of you who don't know, Nick the Van Man 90 is quite an accomplished exhaust artist, among other things. He's also a good builder and everything. But he makes his living doing the artistry of bending tubes and welding exhaust. And the exhaust on my van is a bucket of spilled crap. So, in fact, I was headed to PRI year before last, and I had this horrible roar under the van where the exhaust pipe had rotted free from the catalytic converter. And I'm like, man, I cannot do that, like 600 miles or whatever it is. I can't do that drive to PRI without like that. I'll get stopped. So it was, I don't remember how cold it was. It was horribly cold. And that van, you can't get under to save your life because it's got steps on the side and it's two-wheel drive and the springs are really low. In the, it's just really low. It's as low in the front as you can get still clear 235 tires. So I'm like, well, I got to fix this. So I did the worst welding I've ever done in my entire life. I put a little sleeve. I took it to the grinder, ground it down. I stuck it over the exhaust pipe, slid it up against the converter. And then I just reached under from the side, got my eye in there to look, hit it, got my eye in there to look. That weld, it looks like a porcupine with big wire stuck off of it and just beads that just missed and everything. It's the ugliest weld I've ever seen. But this week, that weld is 2 years old. And it still doesn't leak. So I've been on borrowed time with the exhaust forever, but it's working out. What can I say? Well, that's the whole point, man. The live will be here when it's over. $287 days left of good times this preseason. 280 small goals for a lifetime of fun. Chancing the orange. I'll tell you, it's going to go fast. And I'm telling you, mark my words. If I'm still alive, of course, as we all are, I'll be having a live saying, remember I told you this 287 days ago. There was time to do it. So I will say one thing. Where we have this orange paper and we constantly remind people how much time is left, it really stifles the complaining of people saying, I didn't have time. In the 50s, they called them lake pipes. I still do. And I have people make fun of that. I still call it that. I've never heard that. I call them side pipes. I always heard them called lake pipes. Like on the Corvette, that's what I want to put on the van. And I want to go ahead and do the exhaust the van needs to have. The van I want to make my tow rig. And so I'm going to build a 46RH transmission for it. I got one from Nebraska. I'm going to build another 318 for it. The 318 that's in it still runs good. But I'm trying to decide if I want to just take off the doghouse and get in there and do a lot of little stuff. Or because the carburetor needs rebuilt and I could either throw a 4-barrel on it or not. I don't know. I probably should just do it because it's going to be a while before I can build an engine for it. And I'm going to build an 8 3/4 for it. So I want a good dry out building far from the house. Yeah. Pipes were huge in the 70s. Yeah. Well, they'll look great. Isn't it Aunt Nancy's van? It's my van. I mean, I gave her a key to it, and I got her old license plate back and put on it. She can drive it anytime she wants to. But I bought it back. I found it. She bought it new. She likes what I do with it. She says she misses it. I still just have not gotten around to putting a radiator back in it. It has this cheap Chinese plastic tank radiator in it that blew up on me. It didn't get hot or anything, so the van's fine. But I have a 4-core Griffin aluminum radiator that came out of a Winston Cup car that, I forgot I even had it. I'm going to wait a day or two because it's going to warm up in a couple of days. I'm going to go out and look at it and measure it, and who knows? There's a chance it would fit. If it fits, I'm going to put it in that van. C2 and C3 Corvettes are one of few cars can wear side pipes with wheel covers. Yeah, but if you got the side pipes, what you need are these center caps on the Corvette rallies. Will John turn the pistons backwards? No, because it's going to be a stroker. That's the reason not. I have no problem with turning the pistons around, though. I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing to do when you're doing stock pistons. But no, it's going to be a stroker, so it's going to run an aftermarket piston. Well, then give her the van back. She gets a better deal with me. I maintain it and everything, and she can drive it when she wants. She drove it on her 80th birthday, so I'm hoping she'll want to drive it. I'll put the radiator. I'm going to take the radiator, put a radiator in it. I'll take it back there and see if she wants to drive it to dinner sometime. We'll do that. We'll do that and make some content on it maybe this spring. Who knows? Maybe we'll even live stream the drive to dinner. How about that from the van? Put the Griffin in it. If it fits, it should be sized for an A-body Mopar, but it's a 4-core. It's huge, and it's out of a Winston Cup car. It's got a few different tracks written on the top and the dates it ran. I can even get you the races it ran in. I got to dig it out. You know what I'll do? I'll dig that radiator out, and I'll make a short on it. How about that? It came from Muscle Motorsports used NASCAR shop where they used to bid on the auction lots of NASCAR stuff. Somewhere I've read that doing is greater than doing. Okay. Check your email when you get a chance. Could do that right on the spot. Here's Jim's Fastback Garage with THJ himself. Look at that. What is this, circa 1820? Is that when that was? Where's the grill now? The grill is in storage. I definitely don't want to put a grill in with it 20-some degrees. But once it warms up a little this spring, I'm going to put the grill in it. Yep, sure am. I want to take good care of it. That's a nice grill. I just haven't put it in the van yet. I really want to paint the front clip on it and get rid of that horrible blue paint job on the front. I don't have room for a forecourt. Well, this is a van. They came with them. That's wall art. Yeah, it actually isn't bad wall art. I couldn't believe that. I was looking for the grill. I want to say Unfinished Project sent me a link to it. It's exactly the grill I was looking for. Perfect condition. I didn't have to pay a good bit for it. I paid a premium for it. It's the early grill with the round headlights for that van. And then I look, I'm like, that's in Don's town. That's in the town Don lives in. So Don and Wendy were kind enough to pick it up for me. If it's for a prominent winning car, I'd only install it in a show car. That radiator, if it fits and is I think it's got a big AM plug, like 20 AM plugs in it, so I can move the water neck to either side. I'm thinking there's a good chance it'll fit and it'll work. I will have to run an external transmission cooler, but that's okay. I'm good with that. I have a huge TCI transmission cooler, and it needs a big one. That van, I'm going to put a big one on it. Yeah, but you can get an efficient radiator. It doesn't have to be 3 or 4 core. You can get an efficient one. He's saying more done, less doing. Yeah. Griffin sells nice hangers to mount the radiators. Trim the stock core support with a cutoff wheel, Sawzall cutoff wheel. Nope, not happening. I'll make whatever I need. I'm not going to hack into the core support of that van. He was stuck in 1824, an election year. He died in 1826 or 1824. Dougster said, I had a viewer give me a bunch of old tools, including a 3/8 snap-on ferret ratchet. I dismounted it, cleaned it up, some 1940. Yeah, man, that sounds great. The first tool I ever owned, I was in a junkyard. The junkyard is long gone. It's the old Cool Char's junkyard in Tazewell. Some dude I have no way of finding out who even owned it, but some dude left a Craftsman 1/2-inch drive ratchet that had the oil fitting on the top. And it was, if memory serves, I want to say they had left it around a 72 Dodge Dart 4-door up there that I used to get parts off of. Doing is greater than the dreaming it should be. Just getting the use of half of my fingers back. Well, I mean, it took me a long time to get the use of that finger back. You see that finger looks like a road map. That's backed into by a truck. And all of these hands were the fingers bandaged together. It took me a long time to be able to get to bend them. I still don't have full range of motion in that one. Dude lives 5 blocks away. Grill was 5 miles. Who would have thought? Wow. Wow. So he lives on Nosser Dragway. That's what I call Dawn's Street. Exploded my stock 2-quart. Mine blew up. There's a short on my channel, Never Done Projects. The tank on the upper tank on the radiator actually warped, and it buckled in and popped out from its clamp and popped up about 1 inch in the back. I couldn't even fill the radiator. I was going to do the thing where I fill it, drive a mile, fill it, drive a mile. I was going to do that. I can't even fill it. There's no tank on it. I've never seen a radiator blow like that. Well, mine sure did. Yeah, I've seen those plastic tanks crack. I've never seen one do this. And it didn't run hot or anything. Never ran hot. Just, it didn't even, it came apart before the cap could even pop up. And the cap, I tested the cap is fine. It's a 16-pound cap, but it still is fine. It was just the tank warped. And it's called Chinese garbage is what it's called. Oh, man, exciting. Well, we'll tell you more about that later. Tony's been helping me work. Tony helps me with a lot of stuff, by the way. When we did the movie for the 2023 No Name Nationals, the second annual, Tony helped me with the media for that movie. And by the way, you people, like I said, 150 cars registered by Memorial Day makes enormously greater chance that the movie will come back for 2025. And Lars puts up a link to my radiator extravaganza. Vega equals a heater core with a pressure cap. Yeah. Tiny radiator. Yeah. Van's radiator's good size, at least. Plastic was on the fine side. Yeah, I just don't like plastic radiators at all. If the Griffin won't fit, I've already talked to Buff Del Campo about it. He used to own a radiator shop. I'd like for him to build me I have a nice brass tank radiator, the old Mopar ones. I got a few of those. I'd like to get him to build me one. And we'll do a new core and everything. Yeah, I'll see what I need to do to mount it. I just got to see. What's Jethro barking at? He's just barking because he's barking. He gets restless this time of year because I don't keep heat on, but, 2 rooms of the house. And he goes back and forth, opens the door. And I can't believe he's not in here, but I'm sure he was taking a nap till just now. He didn't like it in here. It's too bright. I got all this. I don't know if you can see it. I got all these lights in here. He is not a fan. If you want to register for the No Name Nationals, there's the link right there. I'm highly inclined to bring the movie back if we get those kind of registration numbers early. And I already know what movie we want to do. And I've already checked that it's not a moratorium. I can get the license. And there's some things I want to do for the No Name Nationals to improve the event itself. And they're coming. And also something we'll talk more about on the 27th. Excuse me. We did kind of a test to see what people's appetite would be for Saturday evening racing last time. And what we found out is that everybody thought it was a killer idea on Thursday. And by the time they camped for a few days and were just worn out, dog tired on Saturday, guess what they didn't really want to do? They didn't really want to race on Saturday night. So this year, this upcoming 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals, we're going to have a community. Dallas had the community cookout, but we're going to formalize that. And the track's involved, and we're going to smoke meat right there on site. We're going to have picnic tables down through the pits, and we're just going to have a huge banquet. We're going to make it an awards banquet this year, and it's going to be great. Drinks on ice, smoking meat, sides. It's going to be a great time. A great way to wrap up the event, have a good dinner. So we'll do. I've never seen a radiator blow the rose out of the top like that Camaro. I've seen the plastic tank but not the metal. Yeah. I've munched a few with the motor mount breaking before. Right day, it's worth 100 to the scrap guy. Yeah, I don't know. Leave it to us to surprise you. Never Done Projects. How is your subscriber count? Are you planning on participating in the No Name Nationals? And by the way, I think it's worth saying we do have some new people in the chat. You don't have to have 500 subscribers to come as a spectator. We have spectator tickets there. And if you register and you fall short of your 500 subscribers, that registration is still a ticket to come. It's still a spectator pass. And let me tell you, I think from everything I've heard, you guys can opine, you're participants, right? From what I hear, that you have 95% as much fun there, whether you get to go down the track or not. 1,500 subs, right on. So you got that hurdle crossed. Here's the link to your channel. Cool. I'll make sure to grab that later, if I'm not already subscribed. Jim swiped 6 rows because the transmission mount broke. Yeah, first time I ever did that, I was in my 70 Dart Swinger, and I broke the left front motor mount, of course, and just got the radiator good. That was a nice 3-core AC radiator, too. Made me sick. I put a 2-core radiator out of a 72 Duster parts car I had. Yes, we had parts car 72 Dusters back then, believe it or not. But, yeah, that 3-core came out of the dart would be perfect for the van. I have it, too. Needs a core. Need to put a core in it. Or I could, braze off those tubes, but I want to put a core in it. Don says we spectated the first year, changed after that. Don is an example of what happens when you just keep nibbling away and keep it going and keep it growing. If your main build can't make it, you can bracket race your daily. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Dizzy said I made 800 subs last week. Dizzy was literally panhandling at the gate for subs at the first No Name Nationals. That is determination, and he made it. So just say, if Dizzy can do it, I can do it. You can do it. Dizzy literally had a cardboard sign. He and Damien from Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans literally had cardboard signs panhandling for subs to the event. And it's all in good fun. I mean, it's all in good fun. The spectators see the sign. You can have a QR code. That's what Barkley did. Barkley panhandled for subs before the event at the track because he's local. So, there's no shame. It's all just good fun, right? Lambert's on the Thursday is a really good place to get subs. I bet you can pick up 100 subscribers just at Lambert's on the Thursday before the event. Indirect Connection Jason says there must be a 2-wheeler passing by here, Jethro. I will tell you, though, if you have, let's say, 400 subs, and it's the 17th of September, yeah, you could have got them before then. But let's say you find yourself in a situation with 400 subscribers on the 17th of September. Come on to the No Name Nationals, because you will never find a group of people more committed to helping you get there than you will at the No Name Nationals, right? And congratulations to Dizzy. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that was cool. Good for you, Dizzy. The Dizzy's a good example of what happens when you don't quit. There's a whole, I got to tell you, I think everybody who hasn't made their subs, it's always just the people who don't quit make it. It's just, that's it. Started Thanksgiving Day in 23. Okay, cool. That had to have a reason pop up out of nowhere to want to go to PRI. If I had that, I'd go. Cope just walked in the barn doors. Is that at that place that you're staying this weekend? 38 says Junk Car Willie wouldn't leave me alone till I was up to Dizzy and him. Junk Car Willie's a warrior. Yep. Howdy indeed, Cope. Here's cruise to Lambert's video. I guess I had some video of people rolling in from the cruise. We're still gonna do the cruise to Lambert's, but we're gonna change it up just a little bit this year. You're gonna see some different stuff in it. I know one thing, the Professor P and Dallas are doing the 333 class, which is what we call it, but I think their formal name is going to be 9-pound Triple Crown. Whatever that class winds up actually being, we should have like a finished product on the 27th of December. I think one of the qualifiers for that class is being able to go drive back and forth to Lambert's. I think. Again, don't quote me on that. They may change it. But that's 5.9 miles each way. But we're also going to have some changes. Hey, there's Jethro. You want to come up here? No? Dr. Ghost said, I had about 39 subs when Don suggested posting a short a day for a month challenge by the 4th of July. So I kept going and made it over the hurdle of 500. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And I did it with you guys. I did it with you, and I'm going to do that again this year. It was so successful last year. We'll do it again this year. So whomever is running in the No Name 500, right now we have one registered No Name 500 channel, only one, Indecisive Garage. But that said, I'm going to do it again this year. We'll do another 30 shorts, 30 days. We'll do it again. That was a lot of fun. Colleen says, I know 3 channels that got their 500 at the track. I think of 2 off the top of my head. Oh, yeah, Turbo Tom. Turbo Tom got his 500th sub while we were lining up for the group photo in 2023. And somebody told me that. It might have been him or somebody said, hey, Tom just got his 500 sub. I said, tell him to come up here and tell him to drive up to the front. And because that Model T is so narrow, I said, there's a spot right there. He said, there's no spot there. I said, yes, there is. He got up there and he slid in this little narrow spot right at the front. We got him in the group photo. Mike Knox, first time here. Can the general public attend the No Name Nationals? Yes, they can. We sell spectator tickets at the gate, but you get a $5 discount at nonamenationals.com until about a week before the event. And then I have to take the discount away. And the reason for that is because I have to have a list to go to will call. Cope watching from his vacation retreat in the frozen wasteland of Michigan. Levi said that he, Jason, the Nelsons, Jeff, for the reason you need to just need playing buddy. It's tough trip that far away. I can't understand that comment, Levi. I don't know what you're saying there, my man. Dean is working Saturday delivery to make sure people have stuff for Christmas. That's cool. Thanks for the Coney dogs. Cope, are you going to do Chicago hot dogs at the No Name Nationals in 2025? I really enjoy that, by the way. And his are good, too. If you guys don't know what a Chicago hot dog is, it is not like a hot dog for the rest of the world. What kind of hot dog? A Chicago hot dog. If Cope is doing that again this year, and I'm not nominating him to spend his own money, the house will kick in if he wants to do it. Because I think that will be a cool thing to expand on for Friday before the burnout competition, truthfully. What kind of dog? We talking about my dog, Jethro? He is an American pit bull. An APBT. Really, I went to iOS. I went to iOS 18, and I can't stand it. I can't find my stuff. But there he is. He's kind of the No Name Nationals mascot. He even has a No Name Nationals shirt. Grand Pito Vic says, thanks for the title suggestion. I went from 39 views to 616 in a couple hours. Titles are important. Actually, tweak that a little bit more. I think it'd have been a few thousand views. Because, just an example, you know what? This brings up a good point. I'm going to mention Grand Pito's Vic when we do the content create his video. We do the content creator workshop. We're going to have one coming up real soon. When you had Burnin' without the G, I think the analytics would have picked it up better if you'd had the G. And also certain things about the words I said about setting it on fire in the driveway. It's not the intent of what you mean. It's not what a reasonably intelligent person would see and infer from it. It's using all of the words to address the message in a bottle to all the viewers who've never met you. So we'll talk about that in the Content Creator Workshop. But yes, titles are powerful on videos. Barrow says, I'll pretty much guarantee you'll meet your favorite YouTuber to No Name Nationals because when you leave, you'll have a bunch of new favorites for this group. Yes, indeed. If you don't leave the No Name Nationals with more friends than you came with, there's something wrong with you. Great group of people. And thanks for the link, Lars. I appreciate it. I had a stroke, apparently. It happens. John, what are the reason for PRI? I'm telling you what, if you haven't eaten a Chicago hot dog, you don't know what you're missing. He is a beautiful dog, and he knows it. He's a rock star. More people know him in this neighborhood and around town than know me. It's ridiculous. Okay. I think NSB is trying to interpret for Levi. The reason you need to go to PRI? I'd like to. Well, I'll give it 5% right now, and that's generous. Here's a link to an older content creator workshop, I guess. We're going to do a few of them this year. We're going to have different guests. I mean, last year we had Barrows, we had Buck, we had Lars. Years past, we've had Blake from Bad Tree, Buzz from Roadkill Customs. We've had different guests that help us with the content creator workshop. Levi's too young for a stroke. Maybe so. Tony, are you going live tonight? Because I'm telling you, we're past our time. Levi said, I've had 2 open heart surgeries. I'm the definition of a stroke. You're not the definition of a stroke. You've got open heart surgeries. Cope and Chris got to try Detroit Coney dogs. Oh, my gosh. Detroit. I'll take places I never want to go for $300, Alex. Doctor goes, watch the tutorials put on with the guests. They help get over $500. Yeah, it's just good, helpful stuff. We get into all of it. And we got a few people who are so excited to do the workshops this year. Just a lot of fun. And we do have fun with it. We typically do them on Sunday afternoon. Tony may spring an unscheduled live a little later. Okay. I didn't know, because if you don't put the thumbnail up after I'm live, I don't know. Here's the link to NSB's channel, NSB's Linko Dart. We're going to wrap up here in a few minutes anyway. Got 56 in here, though. Pretty good little crowd tonight. No Detroit City. Well, yeah, I know that. I knew you didn't go clear up to there. I want to go to Detroit someday. Really, the biggest reason is I kind of want to sneak across to Canada. I've never been to Canada. Got too deep in the rabbit hole, so I'm not prepared. Tell you what, I'll stall and give you a little bit of time. How about that? Just a few minutes, I'm going to wrap it up. Jethro knows it's time to be over. That's why he came in here a few minutes ago. He just knows. For years and years, he knows when it's about time for the live to be over, and he wakes up a few minutes before it's over. Detroit Coney dog includes onion and mustard to fill the bullet holes. You would need it. In Detroit, there's a bridge where you can walk to Canada. Yeah, I guess I'm just, I don't know. I'm weary on that whole thing and going in and out of the country. Dean, have you put up a community post with your shirt yet? I know you got it. Victor's been buried under diecast. What's Big Mike building this year? I don't know. We'll be live just a few more minutes, and I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Even though I know none of you, Cope shut it down 7 minutes early last week, so I'll stay 7 minutes long today to make up for it, even though I know that all of you would much rather have Cope back today. But sorry, you're stuck with me. Technically, you go south into Windsor from Detroit. Yeah, it's weird how all that works geographically. Oh, Dean says no, haven't been home for 2 weeks. Oh, wow. Gosh. Yeah, Dean has the only No Name Nationals Money Fame Community shirt in the world like his. There's not another one like it. Yeah, Lars puts up a link here, gunslingergraphics.com. You can get all the channel merch there. So if you go to Gunslinger Graphics, they're handling some stuff for the No Name Nationals, and you're getting ready to see more of that. He and I worked on it today, in fact. But that is the place to find channel merch for all kinds of channels there. I want to say there's close to 20 channels that you can find channel shirts, hats, hoodies, that kind of thing for. Let's go check it out. Cope held down the fort like a pro. Yes, he did. Grandma Vic, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're in overtime now. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you. Jason's out. Yep, like I said, Cope was over 7 minutes early, so I'll say 7 minutes late, which is in 1 minute. We're T-minus seconds right now. It's iodine used. You're not talking about that iodine that you take to saturate your thyroid in case of nuclear winter, are you, BNR? Is that what you're talking about? Because I have some of that. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up right now. Just a reminder, if you're interested in that, we've been calling the 333 class. I think the formal name is going to be something else, though. Wednesday nights on the Wednesday Tech Talk Live with Dallas and Professor P. That is the place to ask those questions. And we're going to roll out the formal rules right here on this channel on Friday night, December 27th. And not tomorrow. Next week, one Friday from right now, I'm going to have a special guest on, and we're going to be talking about some new stuff pertaining to the No Name Nationals, and we're going to have some giveaways. So if you want to win some stuff, show up next Friday. So with that, we're at our time. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next week. Later.